For everybody watching who might know you through your YouTube channel, but not know the full story behind it, Glen has built a huge audience through his thoughtful music breakdowns and analysis. But what really drew me into his work was the unique perspective he brings to those conversations. With a background in theatre, years spent performing Buddy Holly, time living in Australia, experience across the wider entertainment industry, performance, storytelling, and emotional connection, and a way of genuinely being just fascinating with the way he speaks about music. So today, rather than talking about bands or songs, I thought we'd have a broader conversation about creativity, performance, and why certain artists connect so deeply with audiences, and how storytelling shapes the way we experience music. Firstly, Ben, thank you so much for your time, mate. Thank you for taking time. And you've had like a pretty wild few months, really, from sleep token takedowns to now with like the issues you've had the last week. How are you holding up with it all?
Well, firstly, thank you. What a lovely introduction. That's far nicer than I could have ever given myself credit for. So that was lovely. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a mad few months actually. I think when I sometimes sit down and put it into perspective, I'd understand why, my bags under my eyes have turned into suitcases. But it was it was fun with the whole RCA Rico management sleep token deleted videos things. That was fun, and obviously I know we're just well. Oh, of course, but the thing is, you've got to kind of. You've got to listen. I've worked for so many different companies, like obviously like big companies and what have you. And that isn't me tooting my horn. That's just I know how the industry works now. And also, I'm 41. If I don't know it by now, I'm
still a spring chicken, mate. I'm only a few years to 50 myself now.
You.
So
really, I wouldn't have said that either. I would have said
79, born in 79.
70, a good year.
Hey,
84, you see.
Oh, Orwellian. Good year as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It is my favorite book as well. Kind of has to be. But yeah, it was strange with the RCA stuff. It was like I said, I said in the video, like it's counterproductive. And now, because people spoke up about it, it was kind of people power a bit.
Yeah,
people did speak up. People in positions where, like myself and the guys from the Metal Roundup, whatever, a lot of people spoke up, and eventually the label, the management, working with us is the way to move forward. It's the way to promote a band. It's the way to marketing. When I first started in marketing, whether it was music or theater or pro wrestling, whatever, it's so different. It changes literally by the month how you market music, you market bands, you market your product. I mean, what we're seeing at the moment is and I have to say I quite like this, is the pushback to AI. When somebody quite obviously sees on like Instagram or whatever that somebody has done a poster or a video or whatever, and they've just and I'd like now looking at the comments, which is just full of AI slop. I won't buy from you until you start employing a graphic artist and stuff. Like, that's interesting, because a few months ago it was almost, wow, this graphic looks amazing, and now we all go, they all look the same, don't they? So that resistance, that change in marketing is fascinating, and obviously marketing is a huge part of the creative industry. One has to be aware of how to get oneself out in front of people, and you obviously will know it from Storm the Crown. Like, it's you have to find something that works for you, that connects with people. Well, what I found, as you said, like over the last year, with doing and YouTube and the TikTok growing and all of that stuff, like, is I just stopped pretending to be somebody else, and apparently that was what connected with people. Just being honest. That was it.
I love that as well, because I know for myself that being yourself is sometimes not just difficult, but I mean, you've been pretty open about being like neurodivergent as I am, and when you're masking constantly and not aware of it, and then really discovering that when you are yourself, it's a much better thing. It can be quite a difficult thing sometimes to transition to almost because it's so unnatural.
I think that we are, and gosh, like we're two blokes in our 40s living in a patriarchal world, right? We ain't got shit on the ladies who have to fucking mask in this world, because that's an entirely different thing, and that's something I learn about all the time, you know, with my partner and having conversations about this. But when I started to go to therapy in 2020, and I learned all about, and I talk about it a lot in the sleep token videos, about shadow work, about embracing that bit that we shove down, and our persona is something that we put out there. It's the way that we want to be perceived by the world, and I just slowly chipped away at that for years, and now my not all the time, fuck me, I still want to hit the big red self-destruct button on occasion, but now I feel much more confident with being on. When you're honest, and when you're like about particularly about struggles as well, like I've been honest about, you know, the substance issues I've had. 6 years clean next week. Fucking come on,
congratulations.
I know, thanks, man. I know,
awesome.
It's amazing, isn't it? And so I'm quietly proud of myself, and I'm going. That's why, I suppose that's why all this YouTube nonsense is like, yeah, but you can make another channel. Getting shot at that stuff, that's fucking life changing. And again, like you mentioned, like the neurodiverse stuff. I'm on my day 2 of 60 milligrams of legal speed, and I'm off my tits. But
I'm right there with you at the moment. So,
but I don't feel the need to hide that anymore. And since being honest, and since when it all goes back, I suppose, to when I was a kid, and because I was not. I'm from Newcastle in the northeast of England. You know, working class as fuck. The northeast is like mining territory, destroyed by Thatcher and the Conservative government. Unions destroyed. Blah, blah, blah. My granddad was a shipbuilder on the quayside. My dad was a bacon specialist. He sold pigs for fucking all of his life, and then I decided I wanted to do musical theatre, which was slightly out of kilter with everything else. But I was never veered away from it. I was allowed to express myself. But over time, I think as a kid, sometimes sociologically speaking, you can. Stuff gets thumbed down. It only takes a few people to tell you certain like negative things that you are already nervous about yourself before you go, maybe I don't want to do that anymore. And you know as well, theatre, because we both say it correctly. Theatre. That's musical theatre, and being a boy soprano. And I mean, I was really good at rugby. That was going to be the thing that I was going to have a career in. And then I decided to be in a band and do musicals. And so that's very different. So when I got into that, I learned, and because I'm an only child as well, I had to make my own entertainment. So going down the route of something that maybe isn't perceived as, I'm going to be dead honest about, I'm going to use a term that I don't think is correct, but manly. When I was younger, it was, you sing like a girl. It's not a very manly career though, is it? Even when I spent my first term at GSA where I trained, I came back to my local rugby club, and I remember one of the first things they asked me were like, how's drama school? Are you gay yet? And I was like, brilliant.
I know this feeling very well, because I grew up in a very small sports orientated town and did ballet and drama and tap dance.
Ballet is one of the hardest things I've ever done.
I didn't do it for that. I did it because there was a whole bunch of girls in leotards. I thought my mates were idiots. So like, what are you talking about? You guys go to the change rooms and have fun. I am going to hang out with all these girls.
I mean, a perfectly valid response to
Yeah,
that.
especially for a young man. Like,
So when I committed to that, I realized that, and this is again therapy has made me realize this. So for years, I shoved that all down. I kept that in like a little urn down here. I think of it as an urn, kind of like the one that Paul Bearer used to bring out with the Undertaker. That's how I visualize it.
I love that.
And,
You're
and
talking my
so I
language with
kept
that.
all of that. There you go. You, you you shove all of that. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe if I do this, what will people think of me? And then I turned 40, and I just stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Because listen, people they're gonna say what they want regardless, and also, people's opinions of you are none of your business.
Yeah, and they don't
How
matter anyway.
you feel about yourself, how you value yourself, that's important, because you've got you forever. People will come and go. People will say things on the internet. If you put yourself out there, what is cringe to someone is life changing to another person.
Yeah.
So I had to get my head around, and this is something that I've worked at now. When I was on stage, particularly in Buddy, if you could see the audience, I would always be looking for the one person who wasn't clapping. And it's kind of like being a comedian as well. You look for the one person who isn't smiling. And I realized, like, only in my 40s, but that it's not, well, maybe it's not for them. And also, I don't know what day they've had. I don't know what they're going through in their life right now. I don't know all of that. So all I can do is what I can do to the best of my ability. If people like it, that's amazing. But don't constantly be looking for the person who's not clapping or the person who's not smiling, because it'll brain ninja you. It'll get in there, and it'll fester.
Yeah. And when you start doing things for yourself, it becomes genuine and real. And I know, especially with music, I can go see a band and I can tell that they are a bunch of guys that are on stage because they want to meet girls and get free beer and, be rock stars on magazines. For me, it was never ever about that. It was a desire to just be on stage in front of people performing because of how that made me feel. And there's nothing at all like it.
Are you a people pleaser?
Yes. That was a very easy answer. I was like, am I? Yes, I very much am.
Do you think that has something to do with you and your personality and your upbringing, or do you think that now, as somebody in their 40s, that you look back and go, oh, actually, I didn't being like neurodiverse, do you think that had a bearing on it?
Look, it's an interesting one for me because, much like you, I was only diagnosed 2 years ago.
So we were both very late diagnosed.
Yeah, so 44 for me, diagnosed ADHD and ASD, autism. So with like autism plus, which is fun. Having
the special one, autism plus.
Yeah. You've got
we're in the premium program.
Oh yeah. Two completely conflicting things that just fight each other. So that can be fun. But like when I look back now and look at things, I really see that like that different thought process that I had that nobody else had, that I thought was normal. I think that was the biggest thing for me with the diagnosis. And I'm still finding it now. There are so many things that I thought everybody did or everybody experienced because that was my reality and that was my normal, that weren't. The first one that ticked it off for me was finding out I had aphantasia. I don't know if you know what that is.
And I saw a video you did about synesthesia, but I don't know.
Yeah, so aphantasia is basically means I don't have a mind's eye. So when I close my eyes, so if I said to you, I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine a bowl of fruit.
Okay.
What color's the bowl?
Green.
Green. So when I close my eyes and I try to imagine something, it's just black. There's nothing. I have no vision, like
How
no
interesting.
no memory recall, no like little movies that play in my head is how I would think of it for other people. So if you said to me, "Can you explain to me what your grandmother looked like?" Now I can do that, but that's information that's in a filing cabinet.
Wow. So can
And
you can you access it if you really you
no,
finger
not
through the filing cabinet, so to
not for
speak,
me
or
at
can
all.
you?
I have nothing. Now I'm on more of the extreme end with it because I also have audio aphantasia. So the only voice that's in my head is my voice.
Oh, we are
Down to
on
if I hear a song in my
very
head.
different ends of the spectrum, my
Yeah,
friend. We are.
yeah. So if I'm listening, like if I've got a song in my head, stuck in my head, it's my voice doing all the parts. So the guitar, dun, 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 drums, book, 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 book. Now I thought that was normal for everybody though, until about 3 years ago.
Wow,
Mm,
that couldn't be. See, that is, I what my problem is too many voices.
yeah,
I used to refer to it as like Sauron's eye. That's essentially
yeah.
and when I started taking Elvance, when I started to move on to ADHD medication, slowly the flames kind of, it's still
Well,
there, but the
I
flames are less
I still
like
had that, but it was
prevalent
just my
now.
voice. Yeah, so I still had that, but it was my voice. So I'd have 30 songs all playing at the same time in my voice, plus a busload of me getting out of the bus just outside the house, and the neighbours next door are arguing, but they're both my voice.
Your voice.
Yeah.
I honestly, I no, that's an alien concept to me. Isn't
Mm,
it strange how across, well, that's why we call it a spectrum.
yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
way I describe it sometimes is like, imagine that there's a load of train tracks running through different tunnels in a mountain, and you're able to move along the tracks, and every so often you see a train coming the other way, and you're like, I recognize that train. And that's how I feel sometimes when I talk to people with ASD, with ND, where I'm like, it's like, what flavor do I
Yes.
can I occasionally can I occasionally taste that flavor? Yeah, that I recognize that train. Oh no, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, obviously, it being a spectrum, that's the point where we talk about the ND spectrum, the ASD spectrum. It isn't one size fits all.
No. No.
With those of us, and also as as I've learned as I get a little bit older, I often find truly neurotypical people both aspirational and terrifying,
Oh yeah.
because because sometimes I'm like, whoa, you just
You just did
can
it.
do that.
Yeah. How did you finish
Wow.
You started something
Yeah.
and finished it, and like
You
even
got your
to the middle.
you got your whole sentence out, an email came, you replied to it, and then you went about your day. You didn't stay locked in because you had a meeting at 3 p.m. So you sat there sweating for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and then just walked around the garden, and then came back and sweated for another hour and a half. No, it's so strange, but it does. It wasn't getting diagnosed at 40 and learning about this. It was freeing a little bit,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. I didn't suddenly feel like, oh, there's something wrong with me.
Oh yes.
Because I've know this is what I try to describe to people. It's like, I know that a lot of people talk about superpowers, and they talk about, oh well, it helps you do this, hyper focus, etc. But I remember what it was like to be like sat at the bottom of the stairs at 3 a.m. with one sock on, and the dog's looking at me like, why haven't we gone out in 24 hours? Like, can we go for a walk? And I'm like, I'm just crying. And it's that there's I sometimes say that the work you do in the dark is really important, because I think it's also what people don't see in the dark, because that is our persona, and social media can be very good at that as well, because we want to put out the best side of ourselves, the best angle. There's a reason why I like myself from that side. There's a reason why I choose, I want to look nice, and also I don't like my teeth, so I make sure I light it from this side, so when I smile you can't see the gaps, because I looked at pictures of myself for years when I was on stage, and because I used to have a little recess, and sometimes the spotlight would hit me and it would look like I was missing a tooth, and I fucking hated that. Because it made me feel bad about myself. And so now I don't view it as vanity. I'm like, cool, I set this up so I don't have to worry about what I look like. I just can be myself. Then I could just talk about music. I could just smile and not go, I smiled at 3 minutes 14. I must take that out because I don't want people to see my teeth. Of course there's a level of vanity to that, but it's also quite freeing in a way to accept that I don't need to tell anybody else. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling the world, but I'm okay with that level of internal vanity, because then it means that I can give my best performance. It's the same in theatre. Like you mentioned, obviously, Buddy earlier on. If I felt good in the costume, if the guitar felt right, if it was set up properly, if the microphone and the monitors, everything was, then I can give my best performance. And that means that what I'm doing is in the kind of financial payoff that we're getting here for the people who've bought tickets, who've come and have spent they've worked all the time so that they can come to the theatre and see that show, then I can give the best possible performance. And it does. I'm also, me and Lauren talk about this all the time. We're 90s kids. We grew up with nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And there's a lot of pressure on, and I don't get me wrong, fucking social media is a madness today as well. But we grew up with, Absolutely Fabulous and Kate Moss, and and it was far worse for the ladies than it was for us. But and now we have like gym bros and stuff telling us that we need to be doing, or maybe just go and be your authentic self, because who fucking cares as long as you're happy.
I think it's funny because I was like, I'm a bigger dude, like broad as well, and I've always been like the bigger, stockier kind of guy.
You got some shoulders on you.
But I always wanted to be like that little skinny, weedy, punk rock looking kid. That's what I wanted to be like.
I saw you had a Misfits jacket on in the Rituals music video. And I thought that was really interesting. And of course you have man. And you have a crush with the eyeliner, just like I do.
Oh yeah.
Guyliner. But I remember, like, good. Brian Molko, the Placebo, even going back to Bowie. Oh, these kind of effeminate looking rocks. That's who I wanted to be. Yeah. I didn't want to be the gym bro.
Bowie for Davey
absolutely. I wanted to be the waif, like almost androgynous kind of looking and on my frame. That's never going to happen. I'm sure that if you're broad shouldered, you just have to play the cards you're dealt. But absolutely, that was and coming through the 90s and noughties, those were the people that I saw, that I was like, I know, I want to be like you. I want to look like you. And then I would look in the mirror and go, I do not look like you.
Were you more influenced younger, like with the way you presented yourself from music, or from like theatre and television and that sort of stuff?
Definitely music, because and I can give you a tangible example of this. So when you go to I don't know if it's the same in all drama schools. I went to the GSA Conservatoire, the Guildford School of Acting, which is one of the most well-known musical theatre colleges, and fuck knows why they let me in, but they did. I think they were just taking a punt, and one way or another it paid off. But you were allowed in your third year to look back at your reports from your first year. Okay. And I looked back at the end of my first term report, all of the teachers, all the heads of department rather. So music, dance, drama, singing as well. You get a feedback from your singing tutor, and the head of musical theatre had bless it, and it was completely accurate, had said that at the end of my first term, so 3 terms in the calendar, the academic year, had said, we're not sure if Glenn is going to come back for term 2 because he is very resistant. That was the word. He's very resistant to the teaching practices, and he doesn't throw himself in. There seems to be a barrier up, and there 100% was, because I had eyes only on being in Buddy, being in We Will Rock You, anything that was like a rock music. I wanted to be a rock singer in musical theatre, because up till that point, I'd done pantos, I'd done plays, I'd done like amateur dramatic stuff. But being in a band gave me the fizz. Playing live music gave me the fizz. So I was still going in there. I had a fucking leather cuff I got from Camden Market. I had like I was doing ballet classes in Metallica t-shirts, and I had this fucking choker, this little leather choker. I know, right? And I constantly wearing like eyeliner, and I didn't look like the archetypal musical theatre student. And I was, in that first term, I was really resistant to it. And I thought already that I knew best. No, I want to do this. I know what's best for me. But over the course of that first year, rather than being resistant to it, I think, and this may be now looking back on it, when we talk about ND, pattern recognition, that I didn't necessarily become a better person or a better student. I just learned how to play the game. So that's one thing I always say. Me and Lolly talk about it all the time. I don't really care about winning. I just want to know the rules. As long as you can tell me the rules, then and I don't win, I'm like, cool, but at least I gave it a square go. Like, and
I understand why I didn't win.
Yeah, exactly. So if you lose, oh, okay. So how do I do better next time?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that was, I was much more influenced by music. I wanted to be in theatre, but also I've never been a particularly good, like theory wise or like the intricacies. I'll never be a lead guitarist as long as I've got a hole in my ass. Like I don't care. I was a rhythm guitarist. I wanted to fill the gaps, and I wanted to do, when I was working for like, Simon Cowell and all that mad shit, backing vocals. I wanted to page the star, because when I was in Buddy, I understood how, in theatre you call it playing the king. It comes from King Lear. Is if the king walks on stage and everybody doesn't give a shit, then he's not the king.
Yeah.
If he comes on stage and everybody's suddenly very reverent towards him, and we as an ensemble, we as a Greek chorus, we as a band, we page the person who is meant to be the king. That's how it works, and that's, gosh, I've carried that through music and theatre and fucking pro wrestling and like that. I've always, playing the king has always been something that was important. When I was a commentator, WWE, whatever, when I was training there, it was always about how can I best sell the people who are performing, because it's not my job to get myself over. It's my job to get them over. And it all goes back to that stuff that I learned maybe in my second term, which is play the king. How does the chorus play the lead man or the lead lady?
It's funny because I had the opposite path, going from wanting to be in musical theatre to going to be in like extreme metal bands. But then I always blame my mother for this as well, because the first musical she ever showed me at 5 years old was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Tim Curry, what a man, the man that he is.
Yeah, it's still one of the greatest shows ever.
So did you watch the film?
Yes.
Have you ever been to the theatre?
Oh, many times.
Oh,
Like,
right.
I've
Okay.
been in with the water pistols and all that. I've been in watching it
Yes,
live. I've done it all.
absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
I had a theatre down
fantastic.
the
What an
road for me that
experience.
used to do a midnight theatre screening once a week. So we'd go
Oh,
down
that's
like
amazing.
all the time. Yeah. And we had I had a bag with the water pistols, with the confetti. You'd take all this stuff with you. You'd fill the bag, and you'd go down there dressed up, and yeah, the best. And people would look at you like what are you doing? You're like taking water pistols to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show, like you just don't get it unless you go.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, it's like you need to come along, come and have the greatest night of your life, and laugh and meet some cool people.
I've threatened that this year for Halloween that I might do Frank.
Oh, you should.
Because last year you can't really see it though. I was Rick Mail. From Bottom.
Yes,
and Lauren was
peace.
Eddie. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Another
one of my heroes.
For Rick as you do. So.
Oh, amazing! Fantastic.
Yeah. It was the young ones introduced me to heavy metal with Motorhead. So.
The Motorhead live performance. I was talking about that on stream a couple of weeks ago. Because Motorhead are a funny one because they had punk elements to them, but and they were a proper dirty. And Lemmy always said we're just a rock and roll band, and I always loved that. And that was and obviously like I worked for WWE for a while. Triple H was my boss. He's fucking one of the biggest Lemmy fans ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he fucking I think he did. One year we were doing something at Download. He went on stage and like gave the Lemmy Award, or it was something to do with charity work. But yeah, the young ones, and then Bottom. Yeah, that changed. That changed comedy for me because I like slapstick. I still think that there is a place. I'm a fan of variety, and this is why, like, me and Lauren have a puppet company. It's why Morecambe and Wise are my favorite like comedy duo of all time. Sorry, I know I'm from Newcastle, but it's never going to be Ant and Dec. But Morecambe and Wise was the perfect way. It was the straight man, and how Ernie sold for Eric. And I mean, I know I wear these glasses because I like them. And Buddy, but Eric Morecambe was wearing these years before that, and so I have a real and it's always going to remind me of my mum. The way there was variety. You would go from two guys stood there, doing a sketch together, and then a special guest, and then there would be a band that would come on, like the young ones. There'd be a band that came on, and then there would be a skit or a sketch that they'd recorded in in a studio, and then they would come on. They would do something with like Shirley Bassey or Des O'Connor, and then they would finish the show with a song where they would like, oh man, like that really inoffensive variety. I think that's just something, and I'm not sure that we will ever get it back in society with the way it is now, social media, TV, whatever. But it still fills me with so much joy, and I attribute so much of what I learned about the entertainment industry from watching Morecambe Wise and Kenny Everett and like British comedians. I know, I think that maybe that's something that we share as a Brit and an Aussie, is that we find very easily each other's humor.
Because I was going to say, like, we love English comedy here, like massive.
But like Chris Lilly, like Summer Heights High, that I would say that it is arguably amongst my friends in everybody's top five. And I think it does lend itself to that old kind of that Python as well. Like I think that's something that we often share.
Black books for me, and my friends.
Oh, fantastic! What a wonderful series!
Oh, amazing.
Dylan Moran, still one of my driest comedy heroes ever. Yeah. His stand-up is tremendous. Yeah, he's so dry. And of course, Bill Bailey.
I adore Bill Bailey.
Just one of the most accomplished musicians who's ever decided to become a comedian. Holy fucking shit, is that man talented? Yeah,
I have an echolalia thing that whenever I see Bill Bailey come on TV, I can't help myself. I'm like, Bill Bailey! Doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing, what we're watching, regardless. And if we're watching something like QI and he is on the episode, whenever the camera goes to him. Billy! My partner's gotten used to it. She just joins in now, but
amazing.
But yeah, I love that. It's funny how like the similarities between English and Australia, and especially South Australia, where I'm from, with our accent as well. Very, very like I would say English centric. I grew up watching English television shows, and listening to English comedy and.
What do you really remember? What of let's call it British television? What really sticks out from when you were younger?
For me, it was. Now I'm like my memory is horrible, but I'm trying to think of his name, Michael. Oh, now I could try and like quote him. I'm pretty sure it was Michael. Oh, Betty. Oh, the cat did a whoopsie in my beret, Betty.
Oh, bloody hell. Michael Crawford.
Yes.
He played Phantom of the Opera. He's a musical theatre boy.
Yeah. Fantastic. I loved that. And then there was another, I'm so bad with names. A lot of those, like that era of comedy though, was just what mum and dad watched. And then Billy Connolly.
Inoffensive. Billy Connolly.
Inoffensive, but also offensive. Sometimes very offensive, which was great as well. And that was the one thing I loved about English comedy. It was very tongue-in-cheek, offensive. Like, we're just going to give you a little, like a wink. Nudge, nudge, say no more.
Absolutely. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. I mean, that's... I often will joke about that on some of the Twitch streams, where, it's not innuendo, it's in your endo. But I think that's a very prevalent thing from British humor. Is it's that little. It was me and Lauren talk about how the Office, the British Office, the Gervais and Stephen Merchant thing, almost. Although there were and there are examples of that format existing and working before, but every time that Tim used to do that little look to the camera, we've all wanted at some point in our life, we've all been in a conversation where we've gone, if I was going to, this is the time where I'd be like,
yeah, let's break the third wall now.
Yeah, because you've got it that moment where you're like, is this real life? Am I? Do I need to? Is this the Truman Show? Like, where? And I think there's a lot of nods to that in British comedy, like you said, it being, and also very self-deprecating. I think, yes, which is. For those of us who have RSD as well, rejection sensitive dysphoria. Oh yes, absolutely. That's
we'll give that an 11 out of 10.
Self-deprecation is where we live, because it's easier for us to do it than let anybody else take the opportunity to.
It hurts way less.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I've taken ownership of this now. It's like me and my hairline. If I take the piss out of it first, I've taken the sting out.
But and then as I got into it, like teenager, it was Young Ones. That was the show, and I quote Young Ones still to this day. My favorite line: the camera zooms into a moldy sandwich on a shelf, and it just says, "Don't look at me, I'm irrelevant." And that has stuck with me.
It was surreal. Almost, it literally, like by definition, surrealist comedy. Another modern American program that I absolutely love. Me and Lauren watch it. It's one of our our safe shows. We either watch Trailer Park Boys, the Canadian comedy.
Yes.
Fuck me,
Trailer
Park Boys is
the best.
Goodness me, 100. I must have watched it. Really? Oh,
actually, I hate him for it, but he will come up to me and just go, I hate to say a toe-to-so, but a toe-to-so.
Yeah.
A fucking a toe-to-so.
Yeah.
He's bought me
Worst case Ontario
to make me look like Ricky.
The tear-offs.
Oh, yeah, as
I'm not sure they're meant to be tear-offs, but he tears.
No, but that's incredible. The matching outfits from different seasons.
That's tremendous. The reason why I bought Lauren a coat a couple of Christmases ago, that was that white and black design. It has a name, but on Ricky's shirt. Oh, fuck, pattern design. Yeah, it'll come to us in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want to do for my next birthday was it a chicken and liquor party. So it's just fried chicken and liquor, like the end of season 6 or season 7 or whatever it is. But yeah, Trailer Park Boys, which is a fantastic mockumentary because it can go for 2 or 3 episodes with them never referencing that there is still a camera crew following them round. And then all of a sudden, Ricky will grab the boom or he'll grab the cameraman and we'll be reminded, we'll suddenly be thrown into, oh, fuck. Yeah, this is meant to be a documentary following people round who live on a trailer park in Nova Scotia. But that's our number one safe show. That's our, if nothing else, at the end of a long day, we can watch an episode of Trailer Park Boys and fall asleep on the sofa. And the other one is, from a surrealist perspective, is Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is surrealism. Although these people seem to exist in modern society, every so often something will be so odd that you're like, oh, we've put one foot into Python here. Like this is so odd that it couldn't possibly happen to you or I existing in a modern real society, as real as society can be. Real is your perception of it, really, isn't it? But yeah, I surrealist comedy is all the way from Python, from the young ones. It's so nice to see it Blackadder. Still in Blackadder as well. I mean, and I can't hear. Nobody can say Bob to me without me wanting to go Bob.
Yeah, it's like hearing the words "my wife" and not going "my wife."
Yeah, and that from a modern perspective as well, absolutely, that exists in.
And even at our age, someone drops a drink, and what's the first thing you want to yell? Taxi.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that's an Australian thing though. Someone drops a drink. No. Taxi.
Yeah, no, taxi's a British thing as well. Normally somebody shouts "sack the juggler." But comedy that's self-deprecating comedy. That's my jam. I like when somebody is able to be introspective and to be able to take that and almost weaponize it in a way in order to bring other people joy.
Yeah, my favorite at the moment in that realm is a guy called AJ Wilkinson, who's a AuDHD comic and American, and he is very, very, very open about it. But he stims quite heavily on stage. He's got a fear of being in front of people, and so he's quite stimmy and very open about it, but very, very funny. Definitely worth having a look at. AJ Wilkinson. I'll send you a link afterwards to like a short.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got a quick question for you. Just relating to that.
Yeah.
I can stand on stage in front of 18,000 strangers.
Yeah.
But do you still struggle as somebody who suffers from the affliction, as we call it? Do you struggle performing in front of friends and family?
Oh, I don't know.
If it was 10, if you were sat just in front of your family and some friends,
yes, I don't think playing. No, I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't grab my acoustic guitar and go play a song in front of even just my partner or a small group of people. That's intimidating and daunting, and they will hear every tiny little detail that I mess up.
But if it was,
well, I have this thing
1,000 strangers.
Yeah, but I have this thing where I put the black eyes on, and I'm not me anymore.
The war paint.
Yeah, the death metal panda.
Yes,
that's what I call myself, the death metal panda. Because they are like this now these days. The moment I put that on, I go from being Chris to Killer, which is a stupid nickname that I've had for over 30 years.
But 'tis your brand, sir.
It is, but there's a quite wholesome story at least. One of
Oh,
my one of
I'm
my
all ears.
yeah, one of my mates, he's got cerebral palsy, who's a massive music fan. He's wheelchair bound. Can't eat with him, can't eat by himself or anything. He needs constant care. He'd get me to care for him at a music festival once a year. So we just go to a music festival together for the weekend. He'd give me a message if he needed to go to the toilet or anything like that if he needed me. Um, and I met a bunch of guys from my hometown, and they immediately forgot my name and called me Killer Kowalski, and it has stuck.
Not
Wrestling name.
Killer Kowalski.
Oh,
What
yeah.
a reference.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
expect to be talking about Killer Kowalski today. Wow.
And I know like the whole wrestling thing isn't like a big part of your life at all now, but I I don't I don't like massively love wrestling, but I love wrestling promos. In
I see that
particular,
that was
Macho
where I
Man
lived.
Randy Savage. And I have like the Macho Man voice, and I will mimic him on stage, and everybody that knows me will like, oh yeah. And they know if they hear me coming, that's what they hear. And if I hear them coming, that's usually they see me and they'll yell that out at me. Or, the cream always rises to the top. Or, there's always a Macho Man line.
Wow.
But there's something about like
That,
wrestling promos that I just adore and love because they are ridiculous and over the top and pure theatre.
oh, yeah. I've always maintained this is why this was my wheelhouse at WWE when I worked there. It was music and promos because I've got to be honest. I will another one of my safe things to watch. I'm currently rewatching Nitro from 1996, from the very first episode all the way through, and the pay-per-views. But I'll be, and anybody who ever worked with me in wrestling will completely attest to this. I can take or leave the wrestling. The wrestling's kind of the getting dropped on your head and the dynamics of it. Don't get me wrong. I've produced matches and obviously understand how the industry works to a very that side of it, the performance side of it. But no, man, when I was at NXT. Not NXT UK. It was me and Shawn Michaels who used to do the entrances. Entrances was the thing because you can talk the talk. You have to sell the match, sell whatever, sell the storyline, but that first moment that you walk through that curtain is so important. It is like on theatre, the first time that the king enters the stage, and to be able to bring my theatre background to that and to add to it. It was funny because sometimes it's fucking Shawn Michaels, man. He essentially, if we were working a 9 to 5 job, he was my line manager, and sometimes he would say stuff like, "Where did you learn that, man?" And I'm like, theater, because that's what wrestling is. Like, it's all just pomp and circumstance and music and theatrics, and I do that's the only part of wrestling I still love, and that's why some of my clients and my friends, it's nothing to do with what happens in the ring. It's everything to do with everything that happens outside of it, the character development, the stories, the promos, how you speak, how the cadence. So that's why that's kind of, I think, why WWE were interested in me at all when I worked there. But yeah, that was fun, but it was all just theater. It was, to me, it's always just been an extension of theater, and to an extent, without everyone breaking into song, musical theater, because the theme songs, we know, if you hear dun, 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 you don't think Pomp and Circumstance, you think Macho Man Randy Savage. If you hear Also Sprake Zarathustra, my first thing is woo, I think of Ric Flair. So
don't get me started on those.
Well, yeah,
I love Ric Flair. He's a mess.
Yes,
he's a mess. He's a hot mess, but
yes, but in the 80s and not, my goodness, that
some
man,
of the stories I've heard are nasty. Not a nice person.
But when it came through when the cameras went on and he went through the curtain, and just again, one of the greatest in-ring performers. of all time. But I liked Rick in the same way that I like a lot of Rick. Let's just talk about the style that Rick wrestled. He wasn't afraid to show his ass. He wasn't afraid to look like the dickhead. He wasn't afraid to have his tights pulled down. He wasn't afraid to beg off and be, oh God, oh, you know, like when I'm thinking of a match he worked in '96 against the Giant, Paul White, the Big Show, and you know he peppers him with punches, and Giant no sells it, and all of a sudden Rick drops to his knees and starts begging off, and you're like, that's at this point 13-time world champion, but he wasn't afraid to be the panto villain. He wasn't afraid to look stupid to make somebody else look good. That was always I used to tell everybody in the mid 2000s when we got into the year the era of the anti-hero, you have to sell for people. You can't always just be the cool guy. Not everybody can be the cool guy. Otherwise, we don't have any variance. We don't have any variety. We don't want to see the clowns taming the lions. We don't want to see the fucking circus performers on top of the elephants. We want to see each one of them in their own category because then it offers, like it does with Electric Callboy. Electric Callboy, a fantastic example of a band that just get it, because they can have something when they have a serious moment, you go, whoa, yeah, fuck that, and it means so much more because at the other times they're just having fun. That variance, I think that's if you are too static, if you don't evolve as whether it just be a performer on stage, on TV, in wrestling, in as a frontman, as a band, as a concept, if you don't offer variance, you are asking an awful lot of your audience to just double down on one thing for half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Yeah. And that's why I think that variety, and I think that's why when I talk to clients, whether it be, you know, in music or wrestling or actors or whatever, it's what can you pull from outside of the world that you live in order to make the world that you do live in more entertaining?
Yeah, it's like when you get I see it with musicians. We get two musicians that have completely opposite influences, and when they come together and they're able to write together, that smash of all of that together makes something beautiful.
Yeah,
fantastic. And you're seeing it like a lot so with music where they're getting these like different genres getting like mashed together these days.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And the surprises you get when you suddenly, I mean, like we haven't spoken about Sleep Token at all, but this is probably a good.
We've done quite well to get this far without.
I mean, we really have, yeah. But this is a good reference point for it though, because I love playing people like Emergence, say for the first time, when that guitar comes in and just kicks you in the dick so hard. But it goes from like Rihanna or Drake into that. And it's so unexpected to people that don't listen to something like that, that are just used to listening to that pop music side. And I love that reaction. Because for me, I don't get that reaction. For me, it's like when I hear that softer stuff with the heavier stuff, I'm like, this is fantastic. Where is it going to go? How are they going to move through this? And where are they going to take me? What's the story? Where are we going? What's the journey? But seeing someone that is completely unaware and unexpecting of it and being hit in the face with it, you know, it can be almost like confronting and emotional. And I love that.
When did you get into Sleep Token? Were you one of the OGs?
No. Now, I knew Sleep Token. And I'll talk about this in some of my reacts as well. I knew who they were. I didn't get it. Now, I heard Alkaline and fell in love. I actually have a vocal cover of Alkaline on my channel as well.
I was watching it earlier.
Oh, yeah. I watched that one earlier myself and was like, oh, I might kind of want to re-record that. I've learned so much since I recorded that.
What song?
Yeah, I'll just do a different song, yeah. But And then I missed the next album completely. Didn't even wasn't even in my field at all. So
So
when the
Tomb was
last
just a
non-existent, yeah, yeah. And so when that first single from the new album dropped, I completely fell in love, and then went back and listened to everything. And I have this this beautiful, amazing connection with their music, which I've spoken about as well. Like I get really, really full on synesthesia when I listen to Sleep Token. The Those hi hats patterns will dance down my spine. Same with the
for
pianos.
those. Is it worth explaining synesthesia for people
Yeah,
who maybe don't?
synesthesia can be different for different people that experience synesthesia. For myself, synesthesia, when I listen to music, not all music, I have a physical response. So bass lines can sometimes feel like I'm being tightly hugged to the rhythm of
Mhm.
the bass line. Drum beats and pianos feel like fingertips dancing down my spine. I'll have muscles ripple in my back that I can't physically do myself. They
Okay.
just happens. Um, and I also get an emotional response that goes with it. So I have some Sleep Token songs I can't listen to.
Hmm.
Levitate is one of them, and I might cry thinking about it. I have such an emotional connection to that song that the moment I hear the first note, it's tears and
Hmm.
like devastating, uh, and beautiful at the same time.
Hmm.
Like it's not an unhappy thing; it's just such an emotional thing for me. Um, Other people with synesthesia, though, it's a colors. They'll see colors with
Yes,
music.
that's the one I know the most about. But
Yeah,
even then, I don't know enough about it. Please do
yeah. Well,
explain
I
it more.
don't get that at all, and so my understanding is, um, people get like a bit of a color aura around things. Um,
Hmm.
but because for me, it's always been such a very intense physical thing. Um, the visual side just I don't get. It doesn't make sense to me. So, um, like it feels that seems really foreign. And again, with that aphantasia that we were talking about before,
I was going to say, does
um,
that tie into
I don't
to
know.
that
I don't
potentially?
know. And it's funny because my dreaming is the opposite. It is when I dream, I am in super HD and it's very, very realistic. Uh, to the point where if I experience like pain or anything in a dream, I'll wake up in pain. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And so also got PTSD. And so if I have a nightmare, I'm waking up like I've just experienced that. But those dreams are that real. But the
Hmm.
good dreams are that real as well. So,
So lucidity exists whether it's positive or negative.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
if I'm sleeping, yeah, that dream time is, like I said, it is super HD. It is, you know, I can't even explain how. Like, it is more than like the best. It's more HD than my normal vision. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
How
like
interesting.
superhero type stuff. Um, Interview with a Vampire, the movie Interview with a Vampire.
Hmm.
When Brad Pitt turns, he's looking around
Yes.
at stuff and he suddenly can notice the tiniest little details and things. It's very much like that. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, how interesting.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
like during my waking
didn't know
hours, I
enough about
close
it.
my eyes, there is nothing. Um, yeah, so I don't know if the synesthesia ties into that, because that physical response that I get is overwhelming sometimes.
Hmm.
Like I said, with like Levitate, not being able to listen to that, Atlantic
Hmm.
as well really hits me. Um,
Hmm.
but then there are other
That's good.
songs that,
I was going to say that's going to be a tough breakdown once we get to
oh,
Atlantic.
well,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Then there are other ones that like just lift me up. I've got other songs that are my safe songs. So if I'm going to the shops, I have to have headphones on. And I've got a
Hmm.
couple of bands that I listen to when I do that. So Sleep Token, and it's only a few Sleep Token songs. Breakaway is the other one. Um,
Okay.
you don't know Breakaway?
No.
Oh, oh, you're in for a treat.
Something else you're going to send me after this stream, is it?
Very much so. They've just put a new single out, but their first EP, 3-track, when it dropped in the React sphere, they were like female Sleep Token was what they got hit with.
Oh,
Everybody was
really?
like, this is Sleep Token with a female vocal.
Okay.
They're amazing though. Not as like genty and heavy as Sleep Token are, but still in that realm. I'll send you a
Right.
link to that as well. Amazing. Yeah, again,
See,
they're a
I
band. Yeah, they're a band that
go on, sorry.
if I'm going to the shops, they are like the first thing I'll usually put on because it just kind of gives me my little bubble, makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
That's that
Well,
autism.
that's where I know I've not come a cropper amongst the Sleep Token community, but I know that a lot of people, obviously, seeing Sleep Token live for a lot of people is a fantastic experience that they want to do, and
I don't want to do it.
Nope, me neither.
No, no.
It's because
Saying that,
it
if
lives,
I got the chance to
it lives
photograph
here.
them,
You see, but that's work. And
kind
I
of. There's
suppose
something
then
about having
that's
someone in my glass that is like, I got it. I got to my glass. I got to shoot a photo of
okay.
that person. Like, yeah, it's not a
The,
collecting
the,
thing.
the,
It's not a pride thing. It's just I can't believe that happened, and I have a permanent record of that, and that is mine, and I made that. Yeah, I love that.
I've actually been thinking about a change in my my idea about why I don't want to see them. So originally, I thought it was because I just like to have them like Sauron's Eye. That I just want it here. This is where it lives for me. It lives here, and my attachment to it, and my interest in, as I refer to it all the time, Sleep Token is the greatest piece of musical theatre I've never seen. And even seeing them live wouldn't mean that I'd seen Sleep Token the musical, because it doesn't exist in 15 songs live. It doesn't exist in whoever chose the set list. It doesn't exist in what notes were played, where the band members moved, what shenanigans they got up to on that evening, what the lighting was. It exists in a complete well, a lot of people, again, going back to the ND stuff, a lot of us can be completists, and if you break the like when you're watching a series, okay, here's a great example. I watched Monday Night Raw for like 12 years, and then I missed an episode, and then I missed another episode, and I didn't watch it again for another 3 years, because I was like, well, now I'm not in. Now it's not all in, and I know a lot of us can be all in on stuff. So to go and see them live, this has always been my kind of I don't know, my not a gripe, because that's not fair, and I'm not begrudging anybody else their experience of watching it as well. But I have to see them live, I have to be amongst tens of thousands of other people. Yes. And they all have a different connection with that band, with that music, than I do, because that's the point of Sleep Token, is that we all find something from these songs that is in some way an offering to us to connect with that song, those lyrics, in whatever way that we interpret it. That's why I constantly say in all of my videos, if they ever come back, that this could all be bollocks. This is essentially all bollocks, because we have invented the law. We only have a few interviews from 2017 to 2019, a few interludes where we've heard a voice, where we've actually got maybe a nod to what a quote unquote storyline could be in this. Everything else we've invented. And if I'm going to invent that, and I'm going to have that experience, then it exists here. It exists between these headphones. If I am stood next to somebody who just loves the metal bits, or just cries, or just sings out of tune all the time, or whatever, and I know everybody's entitled to have their own experience, but I don't want to put myself in that position where my experience of something that I've invested so much into, or rather has invested so much in me, because they are offerings. They're not just offerings. This isn't just the story of a vessel and offerings to sleep. This is how it relates to us. This is how we interpret it. So I, don't want to put myself in a position where the experience of it could potentially be, and I realize, and I'm not yucking anybody else's yum. I just don't want to be in that situation, so that it doesn't get ruined for me. And that's me being very not always going to say arrogant, then it's not.
No,
Just very personal. That's
no,
what
I
it
completely
means
understand
to me. And then the other thing is, I have an idea in my head. The greatest director I ever had was a guy called Rob Bettison. He was my first ever director on Buddy. And he used to drop these little fucking mind grenades in every so often. And one of the things he said is, you will never have the perfect show. You will never have what you consider to be the perfect show. And he says, and if you did, that is your last night doing this show, because it is always about aspiring to that.
Yeah.
And so, as I've said, I'll front the deposit. 4 nights at the Royal Albert Hall. This is my ultimate Sleep Token gig. One album every single night, or if they release another one, maybe we'll have to do 5. But at the Royal Albert Hall with the Philharmonic, the staging, I have spent hundreds of hours thinking in my mind's eye of planning it, thinking of the set lists, of imagining where the dry ice would be, imagining how you would mic would there be a choir, would there be an orchestra, we can use the organ, all of that's I've invented that in my head, right? And so what I'm going to end up doing is constantly battling that my idea of what the perfect, and it's only my opinion, it's only in my mind. I'm constantly going to be applying that to any time I see them live. And I'm not saying that my version is better, but I'm saying that that's the version that I have imagined and that I would love to see more than anything else. So I'm fighting, and I've realized I'm fighting 2 battles here, because one, I don't want the influence of other people around me on that. And I realized I used the word arrogant before. I don't think it is. I think it's just about your own personal experience and your own personal connection to them, because I actively avoided Sleep Token for years because of this, because I knew that from the little snippets that I'd heard, and I was like, I'm going to end up getting real focused on this. This is going to end up becoming an all encompassing thing. What I never expected was that I would end up sitting and talking about it on the internet, and tens and hundreds and millions of people would watch those videos. That I never expected. But it's nice to know, and I say this often, that I get real wanky. If you don't want wanky stuff about music, I'm not the page for you. Just scroll on. It's absolutely fine. No worries. There's billions of other videos that you can watch, but it excites something in me. To quote James May, it gives me the fizz. It's the theatrics, it is the lore. And because I'm a big person for rehearsal, I'm a big person for trying to get things just so, being a little bit of a control freak and chasing the perfect show, right? Even as a performer, always chasing the perfect show. That the intricacy and the care that has gone into everything from the coordinates on the single releases from This Place Will Become Your Tomb, to the choices of artwork, to the quizzes and the things, and it's not just that the music is so carefully constructed, and as we've already spoken about, it's variety. You don't necessarily hear. That's why the whole, well, they're not a metal band. Sure as fuck. Of course they're not a metal band. They have metal elements, and some of their songs do fit into that. And they play 8-string guitars, and it's down-tuned, and it's 4 people and heavy drums and screaming sometimes. But you can't listen to fucking, I don't know, like Caramel without thinking, well, it's an Ed Sheeran production. It's a soca beat. That there is so much variance in it, and I think that's why ultimately it does appeal to me so much. There is so much care that's gone into it. There is so much love that has been put into this, and alongside that, as we've discussed about, being in our 40s, stop pretending to be anybody else. By wearing that mask, by being nameless and faceless, there is just a different level to how open you can be, to how much you can declare things that maybe you couldn't if you were just barefaced.
I completely understand that. Just with the black eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
metal
yeah,
panda.
yeah, because it just, I don't know, it's so hard to explain, but it just makes it easier to, I mean, it's not being yourself, but it's being a version of yourself that, it's funny. It's one of those things that it's such an emotional and like a physical feeling rather than a way to explain it. Because you're not hiding behind something, you're using something to be more expressive,
Hmm.
and almost be more of yourself. Um, and for me, when that makeup goes on, I'm a very much an exaggerated version of myself. It is
Hmm.
still me, and you could ask me a question, and it's going to be me answering that question, but it's a heightened, exaggerated, bigger version, that not that doesn't care, but that is open and honest and will just say it like it is and give it everything he's got. Um, and so I relate to that so well because that's, I was the same with like Slipknot and those bands and other bands
Hmm.
like Gorilla as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, the whole mask thing, it just, I'm obsessed with it because it takes away that human element that people rely on and it makes it just about the music. And sometimes the dance moves, you know. Vessel can
Yeah,
move.
of course.
Yeah,
He
but
is a whimsical skedaddler.
oh mate, I've been trying to steal some of those moves myself. So, um, but yeah, like it's it's such a hard thing for me to explain because it is something I do, but it is that way of being so much more of yourself and being able to give so much more of yourself, but without having it being taken away at the same time.
I had a stage name. It was just the first part of my name. It was just Glenn Joseph.
Yeah,
Um, and I often look back at the moment. I was chatting to a guy called Jerry Tebbert. He was I think he was the head of musical theatre, and we were talking about potential stage names. And when you go into the industry, and I chose that, and he went, "Oh, that's a very good choice." And I said, "Why?" He went, "Oh, very Jewish. That'll help." And I was like, "Fucking hell, are we still? Are we?
yeah,
It's fucking 2008, mate. Fucking
we're
hell."
still doing it now.
Yeah. Uh, and then loads of people thought Leslie Joseph from Birds of a Feather was my mum. She isn't. Uh, and I often do. I'm very open about. I started going to therapy in 2020. I'm 6 years of it now, and one of the things I do talk about a lot is how I used Glenn Joseph to protect Glen Robinson,
Yes.
because he was a projection of
Yeah.
myself. He was the guy you met at stage door. He was the guy who'd sign autographs, you'd take photos. He was, at press night, he was the guy who, did all of this. So that by the time I got home and shut the hotel room door, I could go, oh, fuck. And then I'd take the mask off. I'd take Glenn Joseph off, and Glen Robinson would be there underneath. But it was a protection thing, and I didn't realize that for years. I was still like my mum said when she sent me off. See, that's her words, not mine. When I was 18 and I went off, got on the train at Newcastle Central Station to go down to London to go and train to be an actor, a musician, musical theatre, all that. She I think I've said this on videos before. She didn't see me at 18 years old. She saw an 11-year-old boy. She was letting all of that go in that moment, and that stuck with me forever. And now, obviously, with the boys here, I think about it. I think about it more than ever. But I also realized that there was an authentic self. A lot of this industry, and you will be able to attest to this too, the entertainment industry can often lead you down a path away from your authentic self and away from your moral compass.
Yeah.
There are lots of vices. There are lots of things that you can do to get ahead. There are lots of things that and having been the Swiss Army knife of the entertainment industry that, I've been over the last 20 years, seeing that and experiencing it and walking down that path that at times you're like, but there was always a voice. There was always maybe just me at 11 or 13 or 15 or whatever. There's always a voice in there going, this ain't you. How have we ended up here? You don't believe this. You don't want to do this. And it did. It took me nearly 40 years. It took the death of my father really for me to go, yeah, I don't want to take these antidepressants anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to take this. I don't want to, and to actually go, it's time to start feeling life live again. As my mum says, because she's teetotal, she's like, I don't have any buffer. I see everything and feel everything in Technicolor every day. And that's, I think the entertainment industry can do that to you, but talking about it and me realizing that it wasn't just a stage name. It was a persona that I had created to protect who I actually morally was. And I did some, and I fucking, we all did. Listen, like he, the man behind the mask says, we are all here because we have experienced, terrible things happen to us, but we're all here as well because we've done terrible things too. Yeah. And this is why I don't think that one has to be careful with shame. One has to be careful with guilt. One has to be careful to not be consumed by it. But it's all right to recognize that. And it's all right to go and to challenge it yourself. That is ultimately shadow work, to go, why? Why did how did I end up here? And quite often it's because you veered away from who your authentic self was.
Yes. Yeah. I couldn't agree more with that. And I've seen it so many times in the band space. You see these musicians that want that rock and roll lifestyle, but they don't see the downfall of that lifestyle. They just see the pictures in the magazines and the guy in the movie, the video clip. And unfortunately everyone else gets to see the junkie in the alley after 6 months, or the alcoholic, or the guy that can't leave his house anymore because he's so bound to drugs, or and it's really sad.
I know, man. Listen, when I read Nikki Sixx's autobiography, the Heroin Diaries, and then the 6 a.m. album that came after that, you see the music videos, you see wow, that looks fantastic. God, 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, aren't they having a lovely time? But when it's half a bottle of Jack Daniels to leave the house, well, then that's a very different thing.
Yeah. I always say to people, like, don't read The Dirt, especially if you're in a band. Do not read The Dirt, the Motley Crue autobiography, but please read the Heroin Diaries. Because that will sort you out. And I made the mistake. I read the Dirt as, like, at the peak of my first band, getting some success locally, and I thought I was the shit. I was like, I am in a band. I am a rock star. I am the king, and it was my downfall. And then years later, reading like the Heroin Diaries it's very sobering. And with the music that comes with it as well, it's just wow.
The girl with the golden eyes.
Yes.
That song will stay with me forever, because it's the allure, as we say in Newcastle, the allure and it looks from the outside, gosh, it looks really, really nice. But one of my best friends, one of my clients, who has been at the highest level at WWE, for example, said, you get to the top of Titan Towers. I don't know if you know Only Fools and Horses. But you get to the top of Titan Towers and then you realize that actually it was just trotter towers all along. And that's always stuck with me as well, because there are places I still, get offered to work, still places I still, companies and people that I do still, want to work for. But since, like yourself, moving into to YouTube, your own branding, yourself as your brand, for want of a better term, you realize that, I don't have to do this for somebody else. I can just do what I want. Therein, of course, is the biggest challenge, because you are your own producer, you are your own editor, there is nobody else to do all the jobs. And that's where you suddenly, you have a moment where you're like, fuck, okay, shit. And it can become overwhelming at times, but I wouldn't change the chance that I now get to speak about music the way that I like to talk about music, that people want to listen to it, and the community, yourself and your partner included, the community that has been built from talking about music authentically, and stop. One piece of advice, anybody watching this right now, stop trying to be a version of yourself and just be yourself. It's so much better.
Very much so, and so much easier. Not having to just
it's a bit scary.
It's exhausting.
It is a bit scary,
everybody. Speaking about your community, I have to touch on this. You have the most amazing community possibly in like all of YouTube.
It's pretty incredible.
I'm blown away. As I've said to you earlier, my partner was the one that introduced me to you. She discovered you literally on day one of YouTube. I think it was about 3 hours.
No way.
Your first video had been up. She was maybe within the first 10 people on your Ko-fi, I think it was. She's very much a lurker. She's not interested in. I even said to her before we started, I was like, darling, did you want to? You got me into Glen. You introduced me to this. Did you want a chance to say hi? No, not at all. Please, no, not at all. Not interested.
I totally get that.
But she adores you. And she just.
Oh, that's really sweet, man.
Yeah. From Twitch streaming to all of your YouTube stuff. She's on the Discord. And so I'm constantly hearing about your community and how amazing they are, and I am constantly blown away.
I don't think they realized fuck me. I couldn't have wished for a better community. But it's not, for example, at the end of like a Twitch stream, we go and raid other people, like, Uncle Chunky Mushroom or Kyle Chased by Voices, other musicians, other people who kind of fit into the echelon of the extended Glencadia, as it's now been christened. It's not just what they do for me. It's anywhere else. Yes. When I go to like an Exploring Birdsong a video, or I go to like an Evanescence video, I'll look in the comments sometimes, and there'll be somebody there saying, by way of Glencadia, or somebody like saying, I came from and it's fucking mind blowing. And and to anybody from my community who's watching this right now, I imagine there will be many.
I'm sorry, you're here as well, guys.
Yeah. You have absolutely no idea how much I value it. I've worked in. Listen, there are toxic fandoms in every aspect of the. Chris will absolutely, back this up. In music, in fucking pro wrestling, in musical theatre, and just there's always going to be people who maybe can't read what is parasocial and what isn't. Maybe there are going to be. You're going to come across subsections. You're going to come across policing. You're going to come across gatekeeping and what have you. I sometimes look on, sleep sucking videos or whatever, or a creator I follow on TikTok or YouTube, and it'll be like, oh, this toxic fandom, this or this. That does not resonate with me at all. There is no there's just nothing. And I presume it's because we've often joked about, like, if I was on stream and a troll or somebody came in like trying to, you have to remember that we're all quite emotional, well-read, educated people. You're going to get eviscerated.
Yeah.
If somebody came in trying to cause trouble in that, it would just be, you'd be destroyed. And that's another thing as well, because it feels like I've always, and this is due to a personal experience, and I won't go too much into it, but I am always conscious of how I do this. It's the trust in people who talk about you in rooms that you are never going to be in.
Yes.
It's what people say about you when you're not there, what people say about you in the dark. And I have no reason to doubt. And I know as you will probably be able to attest to as well, as you get older, the circle gets a bit smaller. The acquaintances tend to, like, the friends you learn. But I'm very, very lucky that both in my community and in my life, I am entirely full of trust for the people that I keep around me, or they wouldn't be around me. I fucking love, and it drives me as well, because even with all the shit that's going on with YouTube at the moment, and potentially having to start again, whatever, but I know that people are going to be there. Then, like I said, we go again. Can't keep a good Geordie down.
I love that. And not just that people will be there, but your people will tell the rest of your people where to find you.
Yeah.
Your community is the sort of community that if someone broke down on the side of the road, they could put a message in the Discord and say, I'm in this area with a flat tire. Can anyone help? And they will have 20 people offer. For no other reason.
Exactly that.
They just want to help one of the community. And that is such a beautiful thing that you don't see.
I know that, like, stuff that I've said on videos has then become catchphrases. It's become merchandise, which fucking doesn't, like, even that. I have many things that you have said
that are stuck in my head forever. So,
well, I'm glad of
that. Vocal stims.
Well, yeah, of course. But I didn't go out of my way to coin a fucking catchphrase. Like, that was never part of the plan. Yeah, but when we started talking about how empathy is power, people, it's not just a t-shirt slogan. It's because that's how people feel, and the world can tread on you. The world can make you feel like it's not like that you are less than because you feel a certain way. And I don't want to do that. I want to perpetuate the people, that things like that, being honest, being true, being empathetic can lift you up. It can inspire other people as well.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Speaking about community, I would like to share one of my communities with you.
Okay.
So I have a very, 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 like, one of my oldest friends has a band called Lost Souls from Australia, and I'm kind of like their merch guy, kind of hang around. I'm in some of the video clips.
I mean, your merch is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Hey, and but these guys have been lovely to me as well. Like, all of their video clips, they will put my band's posters in the background of the clips, or a sticker on their car, or and all of the young crew that kind of follow these guys all call me Uncle Killer, which is quite nice. So I manage their Discord and keep everyone in line, and not that I really need to. But I wanted to play this song for you. This song's called Dopamine. These guys are a very much like a neurodivergent open band. This song also has some references that I think you're going to absolutely love. Making sure subtitles are on. Cool. Now, people say these guys are a animated band. I don't know what they're talking about when they say that. I'm assuming they just mean they move a lot more. They're quite animated. But these are some of my best friends in the world, and I genuinely think you might get a bit of a kick out of this one. And I'd encourage you to go have a look at some of their other stuff as well. Very, very funny. But lots and lots of pop culture references, as you'll see here. So, yeah,
Okay.
let's I'll hit this one, and hopefully this all comes through.
You thought we only did pop culture, stuck on this fucking banger.
Now, they're singer Kev and I are very, very good friends.
Forgot my phone, forgot my keys, forgot your name. I'm too busy making fucking payers. Can't remember why you said it, I don't care. I'm too distracted with the weight of changes. Give me dopamine, give me dopamine. Red Dead Redemption and Star Wars things. Give me dopamine, give me dopamine. Magic that can't ring, done as I can. Never on time, you know I don't need to be. 'Cause I'm a motherfucking ad machine. I'm sorry I zoned out, you just don't interest me. Can't tell if you're bored.
Wow.
I'm never on time, you know I don't
So relatable.
Cause I'm a motherfucking ad machine. I'm sorry I zoned out, you just don't interest me. Can't tell if you're boring or it's ADHD. Writing pages, writing it while you're working like a fucking bitch.
Massive doom pile of goodness.
Oh god. That's I even imagine the gathering. I've got that in my cupboard.
I love that he's flipping the one ring in his hand.
I'm never on time, you know I don't need to be. 'Cause I'm a motherfucking ad machine. I'm sorry I zoned out, you just don't interest me. Can't tell
I like that it completely exists. It's just a fantastic metalcore song on its own.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need to be. 'Cause I'm a motherfucking ad machine. I'm sorry I zoned out, you just don't interest me. Can't tell if you're boring or it's ADHD. Give me dopamine, give me dopamine. 'Cause I'm a motherfucking ad machine. Give me dopamine, give me dopamine. Can't tell if you're boring or it's ADHD.
So yeah, that is my boy, the guys, Lost Souls. I love those guys.
That's tremendous. I just looked up. I just did a quick Google search before we went on there. I love that somebody's referred to them as the heavy metal version of Gorillaz.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna play you one more. I
Star-
wasn't gonna play this one, but like knowing that you love Star Wars.
Is this The Return?
There is one
Is
called
the-
The Return, but this is the
That's the Mandalorian one, right? I'm
Yes.
sure I've seen this. I
Oh.
swear I've seen this band before.
yeah. I mean, these guys like went quite viral.
Was this
internationally.
Childhood Died?
Yes. Yeah.
That was the bit, right? Yeah, because that's the one that went a bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
a bit mad.
that went mad for them. Yeah, that was their first single. So that's Luke Skywalker died.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Hoping I'm going to get to go hang out in the garage again soon. But I'm in the Mosh Lord clip with them.
All right.
Yeah, just at the end of it, very like right at the end, me screaming at them from the crowd, and it's just me in the crowd. But yeah, when this song dropped, this is just hilarious, and as a Star Wars fan, so relatable. So good. This has got some of my favourite lyrics ever.
Everything
That line, and why the fuck did Leia run past Chewie straight to fucking Ray? Hilarious. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's well, I know which song I'm using to open up the stream today.
Fuck you for killing everything I love. How the fuck do you even have a goal? You missed all of it.
We're worse than Jar Jar.
Worse than Hayden.
Yeah.
What was his real name? It's so niche.
Isn't it though? I do love a fuck. My favorite line from these guys would be all those metalcore bands do the blats. He does a force choke blat. It's the lyric. Force choke blat. That's fantastic.
That's tremendous. That's
Lost Souls.
100% how I'm opening the stream today.
Oh, there you go. I love that. And I'll let the guys know as well. That is fantastic. Mate, I wanted to kind of round things up just with a bit of fun and some kind of like quick fire type questions.
Sure thing, man.
Some of these relate to you. Some of them are just like a bit general. But the first one actually my partner wanted to know. What's happening with Lauren's channel? I know you guys
Lauren,
you've spoken in the past.
I can't think of well, no, I can't. It's not I can't. Lauren wouldn't think of anything worse than having to run her own channel on YouTube. She doesn't even have notifications turned on her phone. However, there will be more from this chap and the other various characters that are going to be appearing over the next few months. With obviously myself and Lolly run and operate one of the biggest puppet making companies in the UK called the Puppet Workshop. All of this here is puppets that are currently being made underneath the flamingo, which is not, by the way, is not a pink light of vessel twerking. I just want to make that clear.
All I'm going to see now, though.
It's the one somebody said that. Now I'm like, fucking hell, it does look like it, doesn't it? So yeah, no, there will be more puppet stuff. Dolly's no. She's very, very happy with her thing. She's happy with me doing this. For those who don't know, we both did go to the same drama school. She was on the technical course. I actually went along to where she works. Lauren is production. She works on production at one of the biggest drama schools in the south of England, just outside London. And I went into, I said this to her this morning. I went into to work with her yesterday because we had to pick up cars and stuff. And I'm constantly amazed by that woman because the stuff, you know, I said about, but before we were talking about vanity and how looking good makes you perform better. Yeah. Lauren is both professionally and personally the absolute embodiment of that. She allows me to do. She gives me the boost, the confidence, the support to do this. And I have to be honest. If it wasn't for her, my friends, the community, I might have just hit the big red self-destruct button when the YouTube channel went asunder and started. Hashtag Glen coins, by the way, available now. In case you didn't know, I got hacked by a crypto scheme. So yeah, that was fun. It was weird going to your own channel and seeing somebody talk for 3.5 hours about crypto and all that shit. And I'm like, that's my fucking channel, you bastards. Yeah, but no, Lauren very much both personally with me, but seeing how she supports the students, seeing how she if it wasn't, and I speak about this a lot on videos and streams, if you are in the entertainment industry, if you are in a performer, never ever discount just how much your crew, whether it be sound or lighting or set building, whatever, never ever discount how much they do for you. The level, it is a combined thing. We listen, they could have a beautifully lit, very well mic'd stage with nobody on it, or we could be in the dark and very, very quiet, and you could be giving your best possible performance. It's a collaborative thing, crew and performers, and I think that's why when Lauren comes on streams from time to time, like when we did the Sleep Token, like we watched a bunch of live performances this time last year, pretty much. Yeah, this time last year. And Lauren was able to offer stuff from a lighting perspective, even from fucking how we ship the stuff. How do they ship the set around the US? How do you build that? What is the get-in process? How do we go from listening to the record to then going to an arena, and how does it happen? Because it doesn't just happen by 4 blokes in masks. It is so much more that goes into it, from record labels to management to crew and what have you. And so Lauren kind of offers me the same thing that she does with the people that she works with professionally, and making sure that they go out there and they know that every light, every sound, everything from the production standpoint is going to be perfect. That's exactly how she does it for me as well. And it just so happens that she's literally one of the best puppet makers in the entire world. So that's kind of cool too. She's a very talented lady, and I will never ever stop talking about how good she is.
It's amazing. I love that as well, and that you are completely unashamed about that.
Oh fuck it! Like, yeah, she's the best.
I love that.
She's my person.
Yeah, that's Bianca for me. Same thing.
Yeah, man.
And with
it's amazing when you find it, innit?
Oh, yeah. And for me, it was just I saw a picture of her, and was like, she's the one. I just knew. Yeah, and then like pursued. Not for that long. Like, it didn't take that long, but like I was locked in and ready. So I was like, that's the one. Let's go. Yeah, it's funny with the theatre thing as well. I always say to people that don't understand that side of it, jump onto YouTube and look up a quick change. Change,
yeah, man.
You see 10 people run in and get a costume change in a few seconds. It's like you're watching a NASCAR pit crew. It is amazing. It's choreographed and perfect. Yeah.
I mean, I was very lucky on Buddy. I had, before the final, there was a few quick changes, but I had about 20 minutes off. You spend pretty much the whole show on stage telling the story. You get to the obviously, for those who don't know the story of Buddy Holly, the Buddy Holly story details from when he was 17 years old to when he obviously the night of the fateful plane crash on February the 3rd, 1959, commonly referred to as the day the music died. Absolutely. And it wasn't just Buddy, it was Richie Valens, obviously most people will know La Bamba, JP Richardson, the Big Bopper, who sang Chantilly Lace, the Hello Baby, which we've all danced to at a wedding. And everyone forgets about Roger Peterson, the pilot as well, who was just a young man himself with a young family, and he had never flown in those conditions, and he was reading dials in pretty much zero visibility, Clear Lake, Iowa, and yeah, so the whole show happens up to the point, and it's still I don't think about it a lot, because I did an interview with Maria Elena Holly, so Buddy's widow. I went across to Dallas about 15 years ago, went across and interviewed her and what have you. And although dramatized, obviously, to an extent, because it is a piece of musical theatre, the final thing that you hear from Buddy before he leaves the stage, and well, I'll get to that in a moment, he phones Maria Elena, and she talks about how she's not keen. She's had a premonition, and I spoke to Maria Elena about this herself. She didn't like the fact that they were going to get on that plane. She was back in New York, where they had an apartment at the time, hence the little known apartment sessions, which have now been turned into bigger songs by other producers. And the last thing in the musical he says is "Te quiero," which is "I love you," and he leaves the stage, or rather, I left the stage, and then you get about 15 minutes. You get about 15 minutes to get changed into your bow tie and your big, final suit for the big final show at Clear Lake, and that's the first time, pretty much, apart from the interval, that Buddy leaves the stage. So I got about 20 minutes. Sat down, had a drink. Sometimes a very a strong monster, just to get myself in the mood. And then you do the final concert. So quick changes were not so much of a thing on Buddy, but why I will always love the show, and what, when I was 14 years old, made me want to play the character is all of the music is live. The biggest compliment we've ever gotten is always, "Oh, well, they were definitely playing along to track." And you're like, "Yay, they thought we were playing along to track." That's the best compliment you can have if people think you're miming. But there's the bit that my mum and dad will always remember about the show, and I think it's the most poignant moment of the show, is you play Rave On, you go and do a false ending, you come back on, cheer everybody up, do another chorus of Rave On, and then it is up to the sound guy out front to catch the last Rave On, and it goes to a digital delay, Rave On, and everything goes black, and then a spotlight comes up on Buddy's acoustic guitar and the radio announcement from February the 3rd plays. And you're fine because you're a performer and you're doing it. But there were some nights on tour, and I'll never forget this. People are up dancing. The aim of the last performance is to make people forget what happened that night and to just be a celebration of music. I don't know, without being too much of a wanker, I consider myself a bit of a student of the game when it comes to music. Like I like seeing the evolution. How did we get here? That's why I do themed streams on Twitch. Like the 70s. How did we get to Pink Floyd? Where did goth come from? Where did punk come from? What led? How did the blues? How did people in Chicago and Detroit were listening to the trains leaving, the trains going to cities, to a life that they would never live, and that led to which is the basis of 12-bar blues. And so from human experience to all of that, to why Buddy was the Eminem of fucking Lubbock, Texas, because he wanted to play rock and roll, not country music, and the buckle of the Bible Belt. All of this stuff leads to that moment in the show where everything stops and the radio announcement is played, and every so often you would just hear through the curtain. And I can still remember one night in Liverpool, this lady was fucking pissed as a fart. She was having a lovely time, dancing away, having a brilliant, and it went to blackout. The guitar tech comes on, I would tune in for the next bit, and it was quiet for a second, and she just really quietly went, "Oh no." And that, I'll never forget that, because we build the show to that moment so that you do forget what happens. And me little heart broke for a and obviously you do an encore and we try and G everybody up, and it's a show, but that will stay with me. The power of theatre, the power of music, the power of script writing to take people on a journey like that, to make them forget that in February 3rd, 1959, that in, what was it, like 2020 to 2019, whatever it was, that she just forgot for an hour. And that's the power of music. That's why I think we both love this, because I'm sure you, like we said, we get into this little place where you can just everything else goes in its box for a little while.
Yeah And even when I'm in my, like, the worst of places, that's what brings me back.
Music never betrayed me. Music never lied to me.
Music's always been my best friend. It's always been there for me. It's always been my rock.
And it'll always be what I come back to. I liked wrestling. I liked acting. I liked a lot of jobs I've done. I like Formula One. I like presenting, but it'll always be music.
Yeah, yeah. And also, it'll never let you down. Which is the one thing.
It'll be there for whatever mood you're in.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Sorry, quick fire questions. That wasn't fucking quick fire.
No, I love that though. Do you have a favorite play? For me, it's Tom Stoppard's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead. I just love that show. But do you have like a particular show that you've either seen or read that sticks out as something that you'd either want to do or see?
I do like the adaptation of Animal Farm as a play. In terms of musicals, Parade, by Jason Robert Brown. It is the story of Leo Frank, a Jewish man living in the South, and it has some of the most stirring, inspiring music. It starts at the Old Red Hills of Home, Hard to Speak My Heart, where he, as a very stoic man, talks about the fact that he doesn't know how to express himself. This is not over yet, where him and his wife Lucille, Parade is Lawrence done it a few times. I've never actually seen it on Broadway or in the West End, I would never play Leo. That's why I think I used Parade as my example, because there isn't really a part in it for me. I could give you a load of shows that I would like to play this person in this show. We Will Rock You is not, it's never going to win any, greatest writing in a musical ever. But I wanted to play Galileo because you got to sing all of those fantastic Queen songs. I wanted to be in Bow Out of Hell just so I could sing Bow Out of Hell. Yeah. But Parade, because it's touching, stirring, and ultimately devastating as well. Any show that can be lifted and put into the year of our sleep, 2026, where we are, any show that can be pulled from another period and can be as relevant in this day and age, that gives me the fizz.
It's funny because I'm such it's like old school musical type lover.
Do you mean like, are we talking old school Gilbert and Sullivan operetta? Or are we talking like I Oklahoma?
I've done Oklahoma many times. Annie Get Your Gun, Les Mis. I love all that stuff. Pirates of Penzance, the Macabre.
Oh, that was my first ever. That was the first ever musical I did. I played Mabel.
I would love to play Major General.
Oh yes,
and if I wasn't,
I am the very model of a modern Major General.
Yeah, amazing.
I have information, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
Yes. I just love that. But Little Shop of Horrors.
Hey, Little Shop's a hell of a show.
Amazing. Yeah. And I would want to play every role.
Oh, okay. Well, may I ask you then? What would be? Let's take Little Shop out. What would be your dream role if you could play any part in musical theatre?
It's hard because there's part of me that wants to be the funny guy. And
sure.
Then there's part of me that wants to be. I mean, they're both clowns. You either want to be the sad clown or the happy clown. You want to make people emotional and cry, or you want to make people laugh.
Sure. One way or another, you're sending in the clowns, aren't you?
Yeah. And so you get the occasional role that's both. And we talked a little bit before, Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
And even Riff Raff in that. Give you both of those. Give you both of those on opposite scales from start to finish for those guys. They pretty much swap roles almost, or power. By the end of that, and so there's something about that show that, like, I mean, I love Riff Raff, but in my head, I've always gone, well, I would probably have to be Rocky, but just because of my size. So,
how's your falsetto? I'm pretty sure that Bring 'Em Home would be in your range, wouldn't it? Judging by what I've
maybe. I mean, it depends if we're going to go like full Goblin on it, or if I actually have to sing.
a goblin metal version of Bring 'Em Home. Do it.
Oh,
Do it.
no. I mean, but I love trying to think what it's called. It's like Janet and Brad where they're rocking up to the castle. Frankenstein Place.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of vocal covers of it and never put them out or anything. But yeah, I love that. But that's a show I could like get stuck in my head.
There
for
really
days.
aren't enough metal covers of musical theatre songs, and there should be. And maybe you're the man to do it.
Look, I'll have a crack at it. Yeah,
I think it'd be great. That's the sort of thing you see when I'm driving for 6 or 7 hours. That's the thing I'm looking up. I'd like metal versions of musical theatre songs.
I might have to get you to come and help me and do a guest vocal on something for me.
Hey, could happen. Just have to say the word.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What was the album or song that made you fall in love with music?
Nevermind by Nirvana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you ever get to see them?
No, but they did play the Mayfair, and I've played it a couple of times. Well, the new Mayfair. They played the Mayfair in Newcastle. I had a mate at school who was called Charles something or other, Charlie, and he had recorded his brother's vinyl copy on a cassette, and he did, the two tape decks. He did the record the one to the other, and he gave me one on a 45-minute. He gave me a copy of Nevermind. So my first introduction to Nirvana was my dad was big into sports, cricket, rugby, football, and he got back when Sky in the UK, Sky, obviously like satellite TV, he was, I don't know, I must have had a good year at work, and he told me, Mum, he's like, I want to get Sky in, and she had a paddy because The Simpsons was the flagship show on Sky One, and she had read an article in the paper that we need more. We need more families like not the Jeffersons. We need more families like not the Brady Bunch, that lovely family that had a TV program. We need more families like this and less families like the Simpsons. And she'd be like, "Oh, Simpsons is along that. Fuck me." And so she was like, "Oh, Simpsons is bad news. It's going to corrupt Glenn and all of this stuff." And ironically, one of the last films that we all watched together just before my dad passed away was the Simpsons film when he does the Spider Pig. Irony. So my dad got in Sky, and so it had Sky Sports at the time, just Sky Sports. I think it only had one movie channel as well, analog Sky, and fucking he was like king shit at Turd Mountain. He was well happy, and it had MTV, just MTV, no MTV2, MTV Rocks, all the fucking nonsense now, and it had Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, but only they had Darla. Was it Darla?
Yeah. Dahlia and
Dahlia, yeah, and Beavis and Butthead. And on one of these episodes of Beavis and Butthead, I heard ding, 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 and it was one of the scene, and that fucking, and I went, what is this? Kurt Cobain and all the cheerleaders and that fucking music video, and I was talking about it in school, and I got a cassette, and my dad was very, very complimentary he always wanted me to be, a musician. He always wanted me to pursue things that, hang on. He always wanted me to be, the person that, but he did say that if he ever heard, he said, if I ever hear Come As You Are Again, I'm going to throw that fucking guitar out of the window. Because it's the
second thing I learned how to play on guitar.
We know, right? That's where we like that. It's that riff.
Yeah, Smoke on the Water, and then Come As You Are.
Yeah, just realized it wasn't fucking plugged in anyway. But yeah, so professional streamer in it. I've got the button. But yeah, that album, because it was just accessible enough for a for a new kind of, for somebody who was, learning instruments. When you could pick up a guitar and you could play, even if you couldn't play bar chords, but eventually, just hearing that and me going, but that's all the verses.
Yeah.
Just a bass going. And to think that it haunted me mind, and it changed. If it wasn't for hearing Nevermind, there would be no, there wouldn't, I would, my mom listened to Motown and disco. I love Diana Ross. Fuck me. I love Diana Ross. But no, Nevermind changed. Yeah. That changed everything. That was the one.
That's my story as well. It was never
really.
That's why I played guitar. Yeah. My
no
first album,
fucking way.
Yeah, the album that made me fall in love with music was Paul Simon's Graceland album.
Wow. Now you see, I've never been a big Paul Simon guy, and you're not the first person who has said, "No, Graceland. That's the daddy."
Diamonds on the soles of her shoes. I will send the link. Amazing, yeah. African singing all the way through it, and African musicians, and it's just beautiful and tribal and rhythmic and soulful, and you feel it.
What's your favorite soundtrack?
Judgment Night. Which is not
really?
Judgment Night, because it was the first album that crossed rap and metal bands.
Right.
So and so this is like pre-Limp Bizkit, pre any of that stuff, pre Rage Against the Machine,
pre Run DMC and Aerosmith.
No, you did
see,
get me there.
That was I've always been.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
That collaboration has a lot to answer for.
Oh yeah. And I'm kind of upset about it, but also very much not upset about it. But no, Judgment Night. But then I've got like lots of soundtracks that I'll listen to that are like scores more than a soundtrack. And that's something when I was younger that I'd like in my teenage years. I used to obsess over, like, I'd go through op shops and stuff in porn stores, finding like the scores for movies on
God,
CD.
I haven't heard the phrase op shop since I was in Auckland. Fucking hell. Op shops. That's taking me back.
Opportunity shop.
Yeah.
Opportunity shops. Still here everywhere. Yeah, the whole the whole main street. I live in like a country town, like a touristy country town on the coast of South Australia, and our whole main street is pretty much just op shops.
Op shops, and what was that fucking sushi chain? Oh gosh. Oh no, it'll come to us in 4 to 6 weeks.
It will, yeah. At least that.
Yeah,
but I don't know how old that one is.
No, but yeah, op shops. Goodness me, that's taking me back. So soundtracks. Yeah, I the reason why that just popped into my head was when you were talking about like that style of singing. I don't think I've ever got through the soundtrack to The Lion King without weeping like a little boy with a skinned knee. Fuck me.
Yeah, something about that.
That's what. But I talk about this a lot on TikTok in particular, but certainly on live streams, about part of the reason why I am furiously against AI music in particular is because we have such a human connection. Way before we had language, we had essentially choral singing. We would come together in whatever atonal harmony it was or at the time, but the idea that we can in the world how it is at the moment, that we can still come together as human beings and make that noise together. Fucking warms the cockles in my heart.
I cried my eyes out with you watching the Carter Farms Park Male Choir. I think I got that right.
Goodness.
Just like amazing. Um, it's one of those things you just need to, there's no words for it. It's such a beautiful thing to experience something like that. And even more so when you can experience something like that live, um, the power in that is just massive. Because it's not just sound, it's you feel it physically. From the notes, like the vibration of the notes in your body, through
Yeah.
to like the way it moves through you, and
Yeah.
all the tonality that sits inside of it. And oh, it's just yeah. I could
Yeah.
gush over that sort
Lauren,
of stuff for hours, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren and I saved up for like a year to go, and it was only a weekend, but we went to Vienna in Austria, and we went to the State Opera, and I put on my Dicky bow, and we got all glammed up, and then we really did a night of it. And ironically, on the taxi from our like little whatever hotel it was, little B&B, I don't know if you know who Jimmy Nail is. Jimmy Nail is a singer from. He was in a Newcastle-based comedy drama called Auf Wiedersehen, Pet, which means pet being a colloquial term in Newcastle. Pet, petal. You're right, Pet. How you doing, Pet? Nice to see you, Pet. So sometimes it alarms other people when they're like, "I am not your pet." We're like, "No, it's your petal," and it's meant to be again. Different dialects and what have you, all over the UK. We have so fucking many duck, love, whatever. So we got into the cab, and Jimmy Nail came on, and I was like, of all of the fucking things, a singer. He was an actor, but he was a bit of a singer as well. He was in Evita. He sang "On This Night of 1,000 Stars" from Evita. But of all the things to be in Vienna, driving in a taxi, dressed in a dicky bow and a beautiful, oh gosh, she looks so beautiful in like a gown, and then to hear a bloke who was born like 3 miles away from me singing like a kind of 90s pop song. That was tremendous. But when we got into our seats, the first note started, and I just went, because it was hearing the acoustic voices, knowing the dedication, because you know what it's like in this industry. If you want to succeed, you have to give everything to it.
Yeah.
And it's like when you hire a singer or a painter, or you hire anybody, but you're not just paying for the plumbing. You're paying for their years of work to make sure that plumbing is going to be good. It's the same with a performer. You're not just paying for them to come and whack out a few songs. You're paying for the fact that if it all goes Pete Tong, they're going to work out a way to still give you entertainment. Or it was that, and it was the culmination of. I could see hundreds of years of training in the orchestra, of people becoming the absolute peak of their craft, and then those voices. It must have been about fucking 15 minutes before I stopped crying. Lauren thought I'd had some sort of breakdown. It was but yeah, going and experiencing, like you said, hearing that, the culmination of voices together live.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The only other thing that I can that for me is the same sort of feeling is hearing other people sing your own words back to you.
Now that is something that I have never experienced.
I'm not going to lie. It will make your bird just.
Yeah. To quote Bubbles.
Oh yeah. My bird's doing this.
My bird's doing it.
Don't fly away, Bubbles. Don't fly away. There is absolutely nothing like that. And it took a while from like when it first happened in my first band for me to not become a dick about it. Because it's such a big thing. It's so impactful that, oh my God, 1,000 people are screaming something I wrote back at me.
Yeah.
In unison together. And it kind of is it's a trip. It took me a long time to be able to be, it's not being okay with it, it's being humble about it. For me now, when those moments come, those are the moments that I stop, take a breath in, knowing that that moment's coming, and I let it happen and make sure I remember it. That's that. Okay, here's my 10 seconds of the show. That's not for
Yeah.
anybody else, but for me.
That's
Because
for
when I'm,
me. Yeah.
because when I'm, and I always say this to performers, especially in bands, you know what it's like. You'll get on stage, the curtain goes up, and then it goes back down, and the show's over,
Yeah.
and it happens that quickly for you. Now, some nights everything goes wrong, and it feels like the show goes for 20 hours, but that's the exception usually. But I always say to performers, take one moment for yourself. If it's 5 seconds to stop, look at the audience, look at the people on stage with you, take a big deep breath in, remember what that air smelt like, remember what the ground underneath you feels like.
Yeah. Feel it through your feet.
Yeah. And then go back into what you were doing. Because in 20 years' time, you're not going to remember anything else about that night. But that 10 seconds that you took for yourself will be there clear and crystal. And every one of those moments will sit like that with you.
That is very astute. What a wonderful observation. I think that's really, really nice, Chris.
And it's something that just, more so out of frustration. I'd walk off stage and a week later, I'm like, I don't even remember what t-shirt I had on, like, let alone what happened that night. Like, and this is like, I'm sober. So now I make sure I take that moment, and I always make sure I tell other people that are, whether it be actor, musician, whatever, give yourself a moment and allow yourself to stop, breathe it in, and live in that moment for a moment.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
The only thing I can, absolutely. Well, this is what I was doing an analysis of Evanescence's Big Ballad. Oof, goodness me. And I said that there's going to be that moment. There's going to be that moment where once this becomes a more established song, where I can't imagine that. The only thing I can in any way draw a comparison to was it was less about having a moment for myself, but because when you're on tour, or even in the West End or Broadway or whatever, you do 8 shows a week. So Monday, Tuesday, normally 2 shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 shows Saturday, Sunday off. So it can become grueling after a while. And particularly if you're on, like, I was on a 15-month tour, I think, and about 12 months into it, maybe you're having issues at home, friends, family, money, life, whatever's going on. And if I ever felt myself getting a little bit like, I'm not in the right frame of mind to do this tonight, I don't feel like I'm going to be giving it 100%. What I used to do was I'd get changed into my opening costume as best I could without giving it away. I'd pull my mic down and stuff it in the back of my neck, and I put a coat on. And about 20 minutes, I wasn't meant to do this. Nobody's meant to do this. You're not allowed to do this, by the way. Don't do this. But about 20 minutes before the show, I used to go front of house, and I used to just go in amongst everybody buying their programs, their ridiculously priced programs, their ridiculously priced merchandise, their ridiculously priced drinks. And I used to try and sit amongst people and just see them buzzing about the show that they're about to watch. And it would reset everything. I've performed to nearly 3 million people over my career. And that's every single one of them paid good fucking hard-earned money to go and see the best possible show that you can get. It doesn't matter if it's a rainy Tuesday night in Grimsby or if it's Saturday night in the West End. It should be, one should always aspire to give one's best performance. And as the old adage goes, a professional is somebody who does their best work when they least want to. So I used to sometimes just do that little, and that, I suppose that for me was my people singing it back, because you got to experience, That's why you're here. You're not here to have a bad time. You're not here to come and sit in the audience and not clap and not enjoy the show. But it is up to me and us as a cast and crew now to give you the best that we can give you, because fuck me, you've, like I said, paid your hard-earned money to be here. Why wouldn't you get both barrels, so to speak?
Yeah. And something I always say to people in the crowd every show I play is I thank them, because if they're not there buying tickets, I don't get to do this.
Exactly.
It's because of them that I'm given the opportunity to do this. So, so I always give everything back to them. Glenn, thank you so much, mate. I think we could probably sit here for another 5 hours and keep talking. Just about
probably.
Yeah. I really, really appreciate your time, though. I want to say a big thank you to your community that are probably like patiently, maybe not patiently, waiting for you to come online as well. So please give them my love when you do drop on. And
I will do.
Yeah. I would love to do this again sometime, Glenn. And I just wanted to be able to say as well that the passion and the way that you speak about music is inspiring. Never stop being you, because you just blow me away constantly with your generosity, with your lovingness, with your openness, and your willingness to just share yourself with people in an open way. And that is why your community is like your community is how your community is so amazing, because they have a figurehead at the top that is loving, caring, and just wants to be there for them and share the experience with them. So thank you for that. As a fan, that means everything. And the connection that you make with people is really real. So thank you. You mean a lot to a lot of people out there. And I know that you probably don't sometimes even feel that way or realize it. But there's a lot of people out there that just love you for you. And can't wait to see where you're going to continue to grow and go with this. So thank you so much, mate. From the bottom of my heart. You're an inspiration to someone like me, putting yourself out there and just giving.
Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate that, Chris. That's a very, very lovely thing to say. I thank you for having me on. It's just been nice to shoot the shit. There was never any doubt when you sent me an email. There was never any doubt that I wanted to come and hang out and talk music and stuff. And like I said, I've been watching your videos and really, really, really quite impressed. You can do some things with your voice that fucking hell, goodness me, I don't know how you do some of it.
If you want to have a chat about it, hit me up. We'll swap roles and I'll let you ask me.
Oh yeah, well maybe we'll that sounds nice to shoot the shit about that. That'd be amazing. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for having me on. Here's to you and the growth of this channel. And like, I mean, I'm in the same category now as Seether and Cradle of Filth. So yeah, I feel I'm in I'm in very esteemed territory. No, thank you very much, Chris. I really like it's been lovely to just chat. And for those of you who've come on the journey and are here watching this, thank you everybody who's just given me an avenue to talk about music and like Chris said, just to be myself. You may as well be yourself. Everybody else is taken. So it's been a wild year, and here's to a year. I know it's only been a fucking year, but yeah, it's mad. Thank you, and thank you to, of course, Bianca as well, for being one of the OGs. And do like pass my love on as well. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, it's been lovely. Thanks, man. It's nice to just talk about stuff we'd love.
Yeah. I'd love to do it again, just to shoot the shit and have a laugh.
We'll do it next year. We'll do it before the anniversary week, because next week is the anniversary week, isn't it? That's apparently. There's loads of stuff. There's giveaways and all that shit. Listen, I'm not doing any shilling now. I think I need to go and lie down in the darkened room.
I love it. Mate, thank you so much. I do genuinely really appreciate it.